Hello, friends, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Well, today we are going to do what is, in my opinion, one of the worst side quests you can do in Ocarina of Time, and that is collecting the 10 big Poes. This was certainly something that, other than my one or two serious attempts to do 100% way back in the day, I skipped doing this in its entirety because it is too lengthy of a side quest for too little of a payoff at this point. Because you already have 3 bottles at this point. Why do you need a 4th one? It's almost like Majora's Mask and 6 bottles. Like, there is at least a quest in the game that is like, the more bottles you have, the easier it is. And this one, it's like, do you even need that many? But either way, we are going to get that side quest done today. Get that 4th bottle, and that way it's out of the picture, and then we don't have to worry about it at all. Now, one thing I am going to do beforehand here, I do want to get the upgraded quiver, because the more arrows I have, the better. So first things first, I am actually now going to sell this extra blue fire. This one just happened to be like one that I got just in case, and I didn't really need it. So it's out of my bottle now, and at least it gave me rupees back. My wallet is definitely going to be maxed out by the end of this side quest. But we're gonna do the shooting gallery here. This one is just like how it is in the child timeline, except more random. But at least it's the same setup of things. How did I salvage that? Okay, that one clearly didn't work. Get my practice in here, because I'm gonna need it for shooting down the big Poes. Alright, try again. That's that. Ooh. Good. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get all the rest of the shots. I took too long. Alright. Ooh, no. Just make this easier on myself. I'll pay up again. Do I want to try? Yep, I got the rupees for it. Simple green. Okay, then it's just the ones in the back. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm definitely gonna need my practice here. But that gets us the big quiver and gives me 21 more arrows for my practice shots on the Poes. Ooh, may as well also get this too. Since I am already here, so we've already gotten the first 50 of the Gold Skulltula tokens, which means all of the major rewards have now been taken care of. I believe this is heart piece? Yes. So I did need that for a heart piece, but I do still need to get the remaining 43 of them for what is essentially completion. Alright. All the things I need to do are set. So now I can begin the Big Poe hunting quest. So for anyone who has never played Ocarina of Time, this is how this works. So there are Poes in Hyrule Field now. They will randomly appear as you're wandering about, kind of just as an enemy to look out for. It can be a bit of a nuisance, but not really the worst thing in the world. But hidden amongst the big Poe, or hidden amongst the regular Poes, are 10 big Poes. Now, they aren't quite random. As you can see here, this is a big Poe. So every big Poe has a section of Hyrule Field that they will appear in. And while I don't know every single mechanic behind it, I believe it is you can only get them if you're traveling at a fast enough speed, which you can get very easily with horseback. Or if you do so, I think you can do it by back walking, because I know I've gotten a few big Poes from back walking. And what you have to do is gotcha! That's a shot. So you have to shoot them down, and by killing them, you get their flames. And then you take the flames back to the castle market here. The old guard station is now housing a Poe enthusiast. And you can bring Poes, even regular Poes, to this guy. And you get rupees for your trouble. Now, if you bring big Poes, not only do you get rupees, you get points. 100 points per big Poe. And if you get 1,000 points, you get the big prize of an empty bottle. So here he puts 100 points on our invisible card. So if you can do the math, that is 1,000 points, 100 points per big Poe. That is 10 big Poes. Now, this is easy in concept to get. Now, but the thing is, though, you do have to find the sections at which the big Poes will appear. I do not remember all 10. I can remember a handful. It's kind of one of those situations where the act of having done it before leaves an impression, and it's like you can dig into that memory as you're doing it, and you'll somehow remember that that was the case. So I think there's even one over here. So, like, right there. So, it's going to come down to... I have to try to figure out all 10 of the zones and get the 10 big Poes. And get their bottle contents. As you can see, this will take some time. Now, I've demonstrated a few big Poes already. I don't think I'll be able to keep up the entertainment value for the remaining 7 that I have to shoot down. And even more so, trying to remember where the remaining Poes are. So I am going to chime in whenever I do. So there's a regular Poe, as you can see. This is something I don't need to catch. But these Poes will just constantly bother you throughout Hyrule Field. So I do have to try to find all of the remaining 7 big Poes. So I'm just going to chime in whenever I find them. I don't need to show in the scene of handing them in, because, well, you've already seen it twice. So when I do eventually start the gameplay up again, I will have caught the 10th big Poe. I guess I am also challenging myself to see if I can't remember where all 10 of them are. Like, maybe I know where... Like, I got the first 3 there. I might remember where 2 other ones are. I am going to get this while I'm here, because I did skip over this. Because there is a heart piece hidden underneath this little river, or pond, I guess. But I skipped it because I did not have the iron boots. So I'm just gonna sink on down here and we're gonna get this. Practice for the water temple, I guess. I'm not looking forward to that in the slightest. But yeah, I'm just going to go big Poe hunting for the next little bit. And when I chime back in, it will be once I've caught Poes or once I have collected all 10 of them. So just hang on, I will be right back. And that would be number 4. And that would be number 5. Not bad. Half of them so far. And that makes number 6. And that makes number 7. And number 8 is mine as well. And look at that, number 9. What do you want, Navi? And there we go. That is the 10th Big Poe. And I'm proud of the fact I didn't look up a single one. I got all 10. Go me. But with that, 10 Big Poes are acquired. This stupid little side quest is finished. I can get my extraneous bottle, and then I can actually get to some adventuring. I want to say that took like roughly 35-40 minutes. I don't know. I'll put a time on screen as to how long that actually took, since I know I cut out a fair bit. But thank goodness this is over. And I'll admit, it wasn't as bad as I remember. I mean, like, sure, trying this when you're a kid versus trying this as an adult when you know better and how to make things work it's a lot easier to grasp it in your head. Like, yeah, like I can tell there was an obvious difference, but I was able to get all 10 locations just by riding around and being like, okay, I know how this works. I just have to keep trying things and making sure that I don't exactly double back, and it just works. You are a genuine ghost hunter. Is that what you expected me to say? Because of you, I have extra inventory of big Poes, so this will be the last time I can buy a ghost. You're thinking about what I promised would happen when you earned 1,000 points. Don't worry, I didn't forget. Just take this. And that's empty bottle number 4. Something I very rarely see on my inventory screen. There we go, 4 bottles. And Link's face there when I paused. I think that was like the perfect face to show just how I felt after receiving that. But there we go. That's all taken care of. So next, I think actually I am going to don the red tunic and get my inventory a little bit more sorted out. That and you. And it's time we make our way to the Fire Temple. Let's get some more exploration going. To the crater! If I felt like it, maybe I should stick that bottle full of a fairy and just be like, there, at least it can have a use. Sure, I'll find a fairy in here somewhere. Who needs a ladder? Falling down is much faster than climbing down. Alright, here we go. Temple number 2, Fire Temple. Feels weird being in here without a Megaton Hammer beforehand, because I can usually skip a lot. But anyways, at the start we see Darunia. Who's there? Is that you, Link? Oh, it really is Link. You've grown so big since I last saw you. I want to have a man-to-man talk with you, but now's not the time. Ganondorf is causing trouble on Death Mountain again. He has revived the evil ancient dragon Volvagia. On top of that, he's going to feed my people to that evil dragon as a warning to other races that might resist him. If that fire-breathing dragon escapes from the mountain, all of Hyrule will become a burning wasteland. I will go on ahead and try to seal up the evil dragon. I'm concerned, though, because I don't have the legendary hammer, but I have no choice. Link, I'm asking you to do this as my sworn brother. While I'm trying to deal with the dragon, please save my people. The prisoner's cells are in the opposite direction. I'm counting on you, Link. I mean, if you take a few bombs in there, I'm sure you could find a way to deal with Volvagia. Maybe you could punch Volvagia's face really hard? Something like that? But anyways, Darunia does list off the main gimmick of the dungeon, which is the Goron people are trapped inside cells, and we have to free them in order to get the small keys for the dungeon. Now, don't worry, the Goron people will eventually leave of their own accord as soon as I exit the room, so I don't have to talk to them. But if you do talk to them, they actually do give you little tips and tricks for things in the dungeon. So now we can begin the ascension of Death Mountain. Thankfully, it will not be as too much different than how I normally explore things. So we'll just go over here. I do still have to worry about getting gold Skulltulas as well. So I got some exploration to take care of. But either way... Now, as someone who has played Master Quest a fair number of times, I'm sad that in the base game, freeing the Gorons from the cells really isn't that difficult. Hopefully that's close enough. Like, you literally just find the cove and then, or cave, and then you just walk in, hit a switch, and that's it. I know that in Master Quest, not only are there fewer cells that you have to deal with, but there are actually some other tricks that end up being played as a result. So, I really do wish... There we go. Ah, that's one way to dodge them! Actually, yeah, why not? I'll just let them all, do their thing. I'll remember that. That takes care of that. Now, another thing, too. I I think I may mention this already, but if you're not wearing a Goron tunic, not only is there a timer going that will say like how close you are to burning to a crisp and instantly dying, but you can actually walk in lava for an extended period of time, which is a very useful trick if you know how to apply it. Anyways, this dungeon will have a bunch of fake walls and fake doors. So we do have to keep an eye out. Thankfully, I do know the majority of them, if not all of them. Another small key for my trouble. Now, one thing I'm glad I did do was get the Scarecrow song, because this is one of the few dungeons where that is actually like a requirement to getting all of the things in the dungeon. In this case, it would be 2 of the gold Skulltulas, I think. I know that the chest that you can open from the pathway with the Scarecrow song only has a huge rupee in it, so it's not necessary for me to get. I'll take those, though. And those. But I do need to go up for said gold Skulltula tokens, so I am going to make a few detours whilst I am doing this dungeon. Push faster! Oh, block pushing. There we go. Now there is the shortcut. Hopefully I can get that before anything bad happens. And our friends the torch slugs. I always feel like that ledge is just too big to jump. Thankfully ledge grabbing is a thing. Okay, so now I'll do this. Actually, I think I'm fine. Yes, just enough. Coming in here with hover boots would be a great thing, but sadly not at this portion of the game. Bombs I will need you, though. Bullseye. Alright. We have hit the central room. So now we'll go over this way first. Don't hit. Don't get rolled over by the boulders. Get this. That is another key for the collection. Oop, that's a rock. Those aren't just boulders. They're rocks. Just about. Backflip. Alright, token 59. So then we also have to come over here for another cage. Again, finding him is one thing, but the release of the cages is just so simple. Like, I do wish that they did make them just a little bit more involved. Okay, well that is a small key for that. Alright, but that's everything on the lower portion here. So now we can make our way in here. Hopefully I don't mess this up, because if I fall, this is going to be a... it's going to be a long trip back up. And you saw how finicky I was when it came to doing the archery earlier. I am not looking forward to Gerudo archery at this rate, if that was how sloppy I was. Like, I even had to make a few trips to the Kakariko Bazaar just to refill my arrows, which might sound like something that is, like, something you would expect, but at the same time, it, I did end up burning quite a number of arrows trying to get those big Poes. My accuracy was not great. Like, for every shot that you'll have seen me getting a big Poe, there were plenty of them where it was not the first attempt. Good, dodge that one. So then we get up here. Okay, so now we're back in the central room. Oh, that takes care of that. Hey, 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 hey. Alright. But I'm doing this to get the shortcut activated. So now if I make a mistake, I have a quicker way back up. Plus, I do need to do this to get another key. Alright. Doing good. So I'll go and get the other small key that's on the other side of this room. I do need that switch, so we'll have to hop over here first. Guess I got to be real careful about how I'm jumping across these things. Make the jump. Don't get me, Torch Slug. I guess I'll do this one then. That was close. Go over here, I guess. No! You will not knock me off. Okay. Chest secured. That is key number 7. Okay, now I'll just make my way back. And why not? I'll have some fun here and go across the thinner, riskier path that gets me right back to this. And then I'll come over here, play myself a little ditty on the ocarina. I call it the Scarecrow Song. This took me forever to figure out. First time this was the case. So a nice close-up of our Scarecrow friend. Like, do you ever remember playing games and thinking, like, I'm going to assume this isn't a case when you're still too young to grasp, like, how mechanics or physics work in a game. Do you ever remember a time when when it was like that, and it's just, you're trying to think, how do you solve this puzzle, and the only reason you can't solve it is because you just don't understand how something works? Like, in my case, and this is a very simple thing, but it gets me so many places in so many different ways. Just look up. It's like, wait, there's more that you can't see? Like, how is that possible? Like, to me, it was always what was in front of you, and it would be easier to establish if you were walking up a hill or something. But to actually, like, look up and see where the answer to the puzzle was, like, I don't know why. It was just something that I could never grasp. That, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it at this point. I'll try again. I'm just getting it for the sake of getting it. I don't really need this, but I might as well. Just to say I did, you know? Because all that's in there is a huge rupee, and my wallet is already maxed out. There we go. And there we go. Puzzle solved, huge rupee acquired. That means nothing. Thankfully, it's not like Twilight Princess, where if your bag is full, Link will just say, nope, I don't need it, and put it back in the treasure chest. Very, very stupid. Like, that is funny now that I think about it. Like, Ocarina of Time. It needs rupees, but barely needs them. Twilight Princess, so many of the puzzles are actually locked. Well, maybe not puzzles, but there are a lot of things locked behind a surplus of rupees. Okay, let's make sure I don't screw this up again. Or even Wind Waker, actually, for a very relevant example, Tangle. That guy needs like 2,500 rupees to get everything you need to get to the end of the game. Mind you, not the HD version. The original version of Tangle was very money hungry. All right, well, we got through all that, so now we can come over here. Now, I'll do the one thing that I always seem to forget when I play this game. It's this door over here. Because all it has is a compass chest. But I am trying to get all the things, so compass chest it is. I got a compass! That is definitely something I feel like has gotten very outdated as Zelda games get more modernized. Like, needing a map and a compass. Like, it's a oh, that was close. So many times I can not walk into one of these walls. Like, with a lot of... There we go, that's the first. Like, the earlier Zelda games, it's like, yeah, you're an explorer, you're going to these places for the first time, and you've never seen them. And they're also, like, not explored. So, what do you do? Well, eventually you'll have to find, like, a tool that helps you, like a map and or a compass. Like, it makes sense. But in later games, they're like, no, we don't need that. Who wants a map and a compass? So, they just, like, it's default. Like, especially, like, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like, you already have your Sheikah slate, and it just automatically tells you what you need to do and where to go. Thanks for the boost. Okay, so this is... Actually, I'll just go ahead and show it. I want to do this once. It's a fake door! But yeah, like, they'll... those games just automatically tell you what you need to do. I'm sure there's a lot of other Zelda games in the modern day that do that. So it's a very archaic concept now. Now, for this boss here, I'm sure you're wondering, why did I unequip my Bigoron sword? Well, funny thing about this boss, actually, it is one of the only things in the game that does not take a lot of damage from your Bigoron sword. If anything, it actually seems to resist your Bigoron sword. So, you do not fight the Flare Dancer here with a Bigoron sword. I've learned that the fun way throughout my years of playing this game. Like, as you saw from this playthrough already, like, I got the Bigoron sword before I even stepped foot into the Forest Temple. Like, if your knowledge of the game is that extensive, that is the possibilities that you can unlock. Like, you get the strongest sword in the game just after becoming an adult and getting into the serious portions of the game. So, in the times where I'm like, oh, I'm good enough, I can do this, I would. Oops, not enough. My goodness, where the heck is that switch? Right there. Can I hit it? No. So naturally you would think, like, oh, best sword in the game. Never need to unequip that sword. Then you get to this dungeon here, and you never catch on that it's like the Bigoron sword does not deal super damage against the Flare Dancer. Like, you would think Master Sword, the only damage source you have that is relevant. Actually, I'll continue this conversation after. This is going to require a little bit of finesse. There we go. So yeah, so you go through Master Sword, beat up a Flare Dancer the first few playthroughs, and you're like, okay, this is fine. Then you get smart enough to get the Goron sword. And then you go, oh, perfect. Like, this, I got the best sword. I can do all the things. And then you get to the Flare Dancer, and it doesn't click that suddenly it doesn't look like you're beating the Flare Dancer any faster. If anything, you're slower. So then you don't think, oh, what's the deal here? Because you don't have any indication of, like, what to do, you never really realize, hey, wait a second, I'm not dealing a lot of damage against the Flare Dancer. Like, it took me maybe a dozen or so playthroughs to finally realize that there was something up. Now, speaking of something up, climbing up there, we did just receive the dungeon's main item, the Megaton Hammer. Now, it's hammer time. So now we're just making our way back down from the top. And now we can finally start pressing in a whole bunch of switches. So now we're back here in this little pillar spot. First thing we do is we get this pillar knocked down. So that's going to knock that all the way back down to the floor section where Darunia was. And with that, we will be able to get to the boss room. Now here's another interesting case of your hitbox extending into things that don't normally do it. So as you see, I can't really like get anything in there right now, like just by walking up to it. But underneath this block of time is a rusted switch. If I make a jump slash with the hammer through there and extend my hitbox, I can actually hit the switch, like this. So I just have to do it from the right spot, which will be like right, not there. Maybe I'll center myself here a little bit. Like that. Now, I am going to play the Song of Time, though, because I'm going to use that as a quick way out of this room. But for anyone who, shall we say, playing a randomizer and doesn't have a Song of Time, that is something you can do if you want to, like, either break your logic or you just want a quick way out. But either way, we get this small key now. That is the last small key of the dungeon. So you might be thinking, hey, wait a second, you've been doing a lot of going down at this point. How much more down do you need to go? The answer to that, my friends, is all the way down. So here we are back in the same room with Darunia, but we don't have a boss key. So what do we do here? Well, for anyone who did happen to notice, there was a little statue over to the side here. Oops, I don't need a claim check. I need a hammer. Come on. Oh yes, fun little thing actually. You can do horizontal swings with your Megaton Hammer. Just normally it defaults to doing the big swing. But if you do time it right, you can do it. So, thing with the Megaton Hammer, it does let you flip over the torch slugs. And there we go. That room's taken care of. So now we have one last Gold Skulltula here. I am just going to get myself out of dodge before I mark that Skulltula token down. I think I did a few too many steps too quickly. But we do have one more return appearance of the Flare Dancer. But with a hammer this time, we can just do a little shock wave, and that'll take care of the dancer no problem. We just have to have a surface with which to cause a tremor. So we just get through that, and final jump slash. And also random chest, because why not? And I think that's, yeah, bombs. Not that they're really needed. Got a few extra for free right there too. But now we have freed the last Goron. And we have got the boss key. There we go. So now we've got every tool that we need. I'll do my last little check here. Key, compass, map, and Skulltulas. Now it's going to change the number there. But that is everything for the Fire Temple. So we just have to make our way back to the very first room here. And we're set to take down the boss. So I don't need a hook shot here. I might show something off here if I can do this right. Just a disclaimer, I know of a lot of tricks for like glitchy things and stuff and whatnot, but I'm not the best at them. So I do what I do, and if I fail, I just go about it how I normally do. So everything starts getting all shaky, and there goes our path of escape. We can actually climb the walls of the platform if we need to. But here's Volvagia! So as you can see, Volvagia will start flying around the area here, going into these holes here, and then we have to basically play whack-a-mole with the Megaton Hammer. Now, the gimmick with the boss here is that there are actually 2 Volvagias that fly around the place. Okay, I did miss. Oh, actually, hold on. I can put the big sword back on. There we go. Bit of a weak hit, but that'll do. So, there are actually 2 Volvagias that fly around, and each of them have a different hitbox. Now, that little thing that I just did there by putting a bomb down, I think I failed it, but I can explain it. So whenever the one Volvagia goes into... Oh, there we go, I got it! Don't know what happened there. You gonna fly? You are not gonna fly. Gotcha. So, that little bomb explosion there, what I did is hit the second Volvagia in a hitbox. We'll just say the first Volvagia is the one that comes out of the holes, and the second one is the one that starts flying around and doing all the crazy things. Almost. So you can actually damage both of them, but to damage the second one, you have to place an explosion source over the hole that had the hitbox in it, and maybe you will be able to strike it. But speaking of getting struck, that is another boss taken care of. One last little flyby here. And that dragon is now gone. Like, you can even see it. Just one little thing I do sometimes. You can actually bring up Volvagia's thing as it's burning away there. But that is another heart container acquired. And with no further things left to do in the temple, let's get out of here. And of course, now we get to see Death Mountain being restored to its natural order, albeit with a very, very big shockwave. Something I don't normally get to see that often in randomizers. But look at that. Temple is saved, and Darunia is a sage. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did. I thank you on behalf of the entire Goron race. You turned out to be a real man, just as I thought you would. By the way, I, the wild Darunia, turned out to be the great sage of fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. Nothing has made me happier than helping you seal the evil here. Hey, brother, take this. This is a medallion that contains the power of the fire spirits. And my friendship. And the fire medallion is officially ours. Darunia awakens as a sage and adds his power to yours. Don't forget, now you and I are true brothers. And now that we're out of the Fire Temple, I think it's time to take a break, because doing all of that Poe hunting as well as the exploration here, yep, that takes that takes a fair bit of time. So I'm going to take a little break here, and then when I come back, we'll begin the next painful temple in this game. Get ready, because it's about time for the Water Temple. I am not looking forward to this in the slightest. So eventually, I'm going to have to get there. I'll do it, I promise. But either way, for now, that will be it for today. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Take care, stay safe, and have a good day.